Good morning. This is just Justice's Waiting Room. This is a daily live podcast where we discuss news and politics. And hey, I'm a socialist, and that just means I believe in equality for all. I'm also very pro union. I want everyone to have universal health care, education, income, and housing. I'm also the founder of the American Socialist Party. We're going to put a pin in that, okay? I think that my ideals are far less important than the moment we're in, right? So every day when we start the show, instead of playing a bunch of music, hey, Navy man, I appreciate your kind words. It's going to get you a lot farther in life. So every morning, instead of me sitting here twiddling my thumbs playing a song, I'm just going to put the link to the original music video from 1969, actually, War. And the original artist was Edwin Starr with two R's. He's got a great voice. And so, what I typically do is I let that lead us in. Okay. Morning, Bob, Cece, Debs, Zeke. Came across a TikTok today, did a little bit of research, thought I'd pass this along. About the White Panther Party. Anti-racist political collective founded November 1968. Started in a response to an interview with Huey P. Newton, the co-founder of the Black Panther Party, was asked what white people could do to support the Black Panthers. Newton replied that they could form a White Panther Party. The counterculture era group took the name and dedicated its energies to cultural revolution. John Sinclair, Flint, Michigan. He's a poet. Oh, he died. He just died. Oh, shit, he died 2 weeks ago today. Fucking RIP. John Sinclair died 2 weeks ago today. Blues scholars. So remember when I've told you, if your response to what's going on, if your reaction to what's going on, good morning, Allison, if it is to isolate yourself and creatively express yourself, whether it be like painting or writing poetry or books or producing something, don't be afraid to do that. As a natural response, dare I say, a guttural response to what is unfolding in front of your eyes. Jesus Christ. Okay. 2 hours ago, Donald Trump decided let's up the tariffs on China to 245%. Let's really take this trade war to the next level. Um, and also, hey, we really got to talk about what happened in New York. I think it happened yesterday. And again, the reason you're not sick, the reason you're not unable to work. Hey, did you watch my video this morning, Crush? You know exactly how I feel. How the fuck do you sleep? Fucking Merwell Gutierrez. They were told that he wasn't the right guy, and they said take him anyway. And they sent him overnight to El Salvador, and one of the things that's starting to piss me off, it's starting to make me fucking mad. How how are you still calling this a prison? It ain't open. There ain't no reception. There ain't no guards. They're not guards in the guards towers. There's not a population of prisoners. They weren't met with a medical staff. There's a pile of blood you can see from space. That, at best, is a former prison or ex-prison at best. That's the best thing that is right now. Is it used to be a prison. So I just want to point out that if you voted for this, you voted for this incompetence. They fucked up deportation so badly that it's not even fucking deportation. You see, when you deport someone, that is the legal process of removing someone who is in your country illegally. And there was no process. No due process. And the thing about due process in the United States, and I know this is going to come as like a fucking shock to you knuckle draggers, is that due process is afforded to fucking everybody in the 14th Amendment. Everyone on American soil gets due process. This means Semper Fi. This means when you do something fucking wrong in this country, there's no judge and jury and executioner all in one body that is just like, yeah, brains. Like, that's not how this works. I don't know what fucking happened. God damn it. This is what capitalism does to people. How the fuck do you fly that plane, dude? I would be beside myself flying that fucking plane overnight that we got the wrong guy. And we're sending like an innocent person to their unaliving. You're not any person on that from apprehending kidnapping Gutierrez to arriving at all the way until he meets the butcher, right? Like, all of y'all are responsible for that. And by extension, everyone who voted for this is malicious incompetence. They fucked up deportation so bad it's not even fucking technically deportation. It's called rendition. Yeah, it's somehow fucking worse. Somehow you fucked up deportation so bad you did something fucking worse than deportation. Twice in the last week. Because there's still people out there that are like, oh yeah, it was just like a botched deportation. No, you don't understand. Deportation is like a process. You get due process. There was none of the process and none of the due process. They just like shipped him out overnight to a Dude, it's like taking someone to Jurassic fucking Park and just dropping them fuck off. Like, good luck. Don't stumble blindly into that fucking pit o' bodies over there. God damn it. That's why I didn't make a fucking video yesterday. Because I was thinking about Kilmar Garcia. And I finally saw his wife reading into a microphone, talking for the first time since his fucking disappearance. He didn't just have a kid, he had a wife and children. Innocent man, innocent U.S. citizen, here legally, not a criminal. And yes, even a union. Shit, did you see how they were pounding on the table? His union is pounding on the table to bring that man home. Okay. So my hope is, of course, things like that spark a labor movement, and people are like, hey, you notice like the fucking New York, where was this kid from? Maryland. People ain't on the horn every day talking to the media about Kilmar fucking Garcia. Where the fuck is Kilmar Garcia, right? But the union will literally hold a union event and call for his return. So I hope if you're even ever were on the fence about joining a fucking union, especially if you're an immigrant, right? It's EIU. Reading. Service Employees International. Good. Oh, hey, I used to work in healthcare. I don't know. See, this is my thing is like I'm a white collar worker. So I work in finance. So I've always been like, what fucking union do I join? I would totally do that. I'll pay money. I'll go to the meetings and shit. But it's like, what fucking union? I help people get away from credit card companies, right? And fucking those shitty personal loans and payday loans and shit like that to help them get away from that shit, right? Because it's fucking horrible and it's soul sucking. It's what's kindergartens need nurses. No union for me. I work for lawyers. That's tough. I would have a hard time working in a industry in which you couldn't join a union. They can't stop me from joining a union. But yeah, we gotta say their fucking names. Merwell Gutierrez. And the reason that we're literally not striking in the streets right now is because they're Latinos, very Latino sounding names. And it tricks your brain. If you don't give a fuck about Latin people because they're not a part of your day to day, your brain's gonna let you go right by all this. Most people are racist and didn't even know it. It's just like the way your brain works. If Gutierrez and fucking Garcia are not names you'd heard regularly before, they sound just foreign enough that their botched deportation sounds like within the wheelhouse of what this administration is capable of. That sounds exactly like what this administration would do is fuck up a deportation. And then I just want to point out it takes absolutely zero motherfucking research to pull back from that and go, hold the fucking phone, kids. CCOT got closed. That shit is not open. We cannot talk about this situation. We cannot talk about what is going on here without saying, hey dog, if this administration don't like what you're saying, they're sending you to a death camp. There's no in between. There's no like other spot they're sending them to. White collar unions are usually called associations. This is to keep people from shying away from unions. I've never. Here's the thing that's crazy. Are you ready for this? Uh, in my whole life, ran into union members my whole life. They wear it proudly. E- Every union, and for the record, it's like the only organization you'll like ever join whose like mission is always good and you're like always good with what they're doing, right? Um, Thought crimes are deportation worthy now. Yeah. I'm in danger. Literally by just sitting here and saying their names out loud and saying that this administration is and everyone in that chain from kidnapping him to handing him over to the butcher at fucking Seacott. That ain't a fucking prison. Stop calling it a prison. That's a former prison. It's an ex-prison. And I think the language is important. The internet is forever fucking around. That's not great, Jamie. That's not great. The First Amendment guarantees me a right to free speech and everyone else. It's incredible that like people like thought crime. Like it's a crime to say Donald Trump should be held accountable. What he's done is wrong. He's done lots of things wrong. What are we even talking about? Why is that hurt you? Right? Screw that guy, yeah. Like what the Oh. Mm, yeah. Mhm. It's like whenever they see a large crowded space, they like rats. They jump on the opportunity to be in a big room and scream out for their cuck daddy. Their daddy who is a cuck. Do you think do you think Drumpf gave his misses to Elon? Or do you think Elon took her? I have this vision in my brain of Donald Trump as a baby, just sucking his thumb, crying a lot, being pretty much a pissy baby. And Elon's in a maid outfit with a feather duster, wearing a headset, not even paying attention to the child, totally neglectful. The child's like half falling off the bed and shit, spin around in circles, just listening to the who knows, really. Uh, and they're both doped out of their fucking minds. And Donald Trump's not actually a baby; he's a full-grown him. But that's them in their free time. Anyway, I love it when people come in there and they're like, "I love Donald Trump," and I'm like, "Uh-huh." My favorite stories about Donald Trump are from other older celebrities that still have their fucking brain, and they're like, "Yo, Don is a old school gay, the kind where you can never admit it, but you gotta like stay in the closet forever, and you just have to continue to be the same person. But the cruelty is the point. So I want to make sure as people come in, Still bootlicking. Still kissing the ring. Bending a knee. I just want to make sure you know. Anyway, rest in peace, John Sinclair from the Blues Scholars. He was one of the first people to purchase recreational MJ when it became illegal in marijuana or in Michigan. December. How the fuck did I try not to say it and still say it? And I wasn't even trying to say that word. I was trying to say Michigan. Whew. Pretty cool. Pretty fucking cool. Learn about John Sinclair and the White Panther Party today. Because I fuck with that. Anti-capitalist. That's great. Anti-racist, anti-capitalist. I could fuck with that. Part of the Rainbow Coalition. Now, the Rainbow Coalition, I already knew about. So that's already cool. Okay. Rainbow Coalition was an anti-racist, working-class, multicultural movement founded April 4th, 1969 in Chicago, Illinois by Fred Hampton from the Black Panther Party, along with William Preacherman Fesperman of the Young Patriots organization, and Jose Jimenez, or Cha-Cha, the founder of the Young Lords. Young Lords, also known as the YLO, Young Lords organization, were a left-wing political organization that originally developed from a Chicago street gang. With major branches in Chicago and New York City, they were known for direct action campaigns, including building occupations and sit-ins. And the Young Patriots organization was an American leftist organization of mostly white Southerners from uptown Chicago. You got to understand, I'm from outside Chicago, so this is speaking to me, okay? White Southerners from uptown Chicago, originating in 1968, active till 1973. The organization was designed to support young white migrants from the Appalachia region who experienced extreme poverty. The Rainbow Coalition. That's dope as fuck. Sorry, I'm just doing a little reading. Yeah, Fred Hampton died when he was 21. Hmm. You can be too radical. Yeah, right. So you remember yesterday we were talking about how Donald Trump, it was like he was backed into a corner and he just started being like, it's Putin's fault, it's Bibi's fault, it's Biden's fault, it's Kamala's fault. You know, that was yesterday. Today, in the news from yesterday, JD Vance says Europe should have done more to stop the Iraq war because that makes total fucking sense, JD. So as we get into it, yeah, you know, one of the things that I've realized in the, you know, obviously, I'd say like the last better part of a decade. Okay, in the last decade, um, has been eye opening. Yesterday's today, today's today, tomorrow's tomorrow. Then what? Then like a couple days from now. Why am I here so badly? What are you talking about? Yeah, and also, I hate to be this guy, um, but I'm a winner. So like everything that I do, I'm like naturally good at. I'm eventually gonna end up with that. You know what? I ain't never done. I ain't never dropped a trophy. Good to go. I've handled, I've handled trophy just fine. Okay. So as a winner, it's pretty clear to me that JD Vance is a fucking loser. Because how the fuck did you drop that, JD? Because I tried to think about the object in question, the trophy itself, and I did a little exercise in my mind, having not been able to pick it up, that specific trophy myself. And I thought, okay, so I would try to put my hand under the back of it, and I don't want to bend it. It's not bendable. So I want to hold the top and the bottom, and I only want to hold it for the op, and then I want to set it back down, and it's like it's made of fucking glass, right? No? Oh, he tried to pick it up and kind of catapult it onto himself. And no, no, you fucking turd. That's not how that works. And that shit toppled and fell out of his hand. So yeah, I don't. This is a news show. We're literally talking about the news. Nancy, get a hold of yourself. I thought that was funny. I'm like, hey, you're looking at somebody that has actually won some shit in their in their life. I've actually won some shit. Not how you handle a fucking trophy, dog. Like, hey, I know that it hurts. It hurts when you run into someone that's actually like a good person and generally good at my job. Yep. Everywhere I've ever been. If you ask anyone I work with, who I still fucking work with, by the way. Like I've worked with the same great salespeople for over a decade at multiple jobs across industry. Same people, just trying to make a way. Just found something we're really good at, and we all find the same spot. Okay, I'm still in a Slack with the same people I was in a group chat with a decade ago. Just saying good morning and shit, and how's your day and shit. Okay, those people will be the first people to tell you every job we've ever gone to. I'm a slow starter. It's not that I'm stupid or I don't get it. It's that just like anything else, it sounds like you're chewing on concrete the first fucking few times you say anything. And then by the time I get around to it and actually spit out what I'm supposed to do, I end up pretty good at the job. So I was just making a joke, right? I posted a news article. I said, hey, JD Vance fucked up a trophy presentation as somebody who's actually won a trophy or two in their life. Go fucking figure. What does it say? Dina said, well, that was wise, Dina. Dina said he probably had some makeup in his eye and he couldn't see what he was doing. So, and you know what? The only person here that needs an excuse as to how you fucked that up is JD Vance. So, I want to point out that I did not fuck up a trophy presentation. Our calendar's been updated, so I understand. Yeah. Anytime I realize I've got a bunch of people watching me, we're gonna do the thing. Okay, this is when we do our dance. Okay, this is about as much as I get. Hey, you should get 8 hours of sleep a night, and you probably need a nap. Actually, you should drink water, eat right, and exercise. That's it. That's it. That's like the whole thing. I wasn't like asking for money or none of that shit. I was just saying take care of yourself. Okay? Control what you can control. Try not to get too worked up about what's going on. Don't think about it too much, too much, too much, too much. You guys know that song? Remember, check out our 50501. Cammy on TikTok said, I fucking wish my kids would let me take a nap. I hear you. I hear you. My favorite thing, because I'm on the phone, my favorite thing is when my dogs or my customers' dogs are going ape shit on the phone, and we're both just sitting there cracking up, like, go figure, trying to talk on the phone. All right, so look, um, your state capital, 5051. What is that? Is that 5050.1 is the name of the website. Uh, Saturday is a day of action. They're also calling it the Resist Tyranny protests. You call it whatever the fuck you want to call it. Okay. Shit. Yesterday was Giving Tuesday. I didn't even check this calendar. We're supposed to donate to a food bank Tuesday. I also want to point out that I'm participating in the protest slash day of action slash food bank here in Indianapolis. And if you want to send money to that, I can probably produce a QR code for that if you're like, I want to support what you're doing. But I ain't in control of the money, so I don't even know how far I'd go. Understand, we're in an economic blackout. Save your fucking money. You know what I do at a job all day? I show people how to save money, and I tell them to save fucking money. Put your money in your motherfucking wallet. Stop paying fucking interest. Put your money in your fucking wallet and ride this out. Keep yourselves fed and housed. Right? That's a logical decision, Jared. So this is about the only thing I'll ever say. Like, if you feel like you're stuck in a cycle where you can only afford to make minimum payments, one of the common threads between my customers is that lots of them are doing things like putting bills and groceries on credit. If you're to the point financially where you're running out of room, you don't have a lot left, a lot of space to breathe, if the monthly payments are really getting to you and you're getting to the point where you can hardly make your minimum monthly payments on your credit cards, just know I can help you. Get away from all of that. And that every day you don't do something, you're costing yourself money by not saying, I want to get off of this hamster wheel. And feel free to find me if you feel like I am one of your clients. Like, I need that. Whatever that was, Jared, I need that. Okay? If you need to get in touch with me and say, hey, we need to talk, I'm one of those people. I'm one of your clients. Okay? If you've been holding off on declaring fucking bankruptcy and you've been paying payments anyway, one of the things I've learned is apparently people are making payments using their credit card to make other payments. And hey, you can't loop like that. There's no winning, there's no getting out of that. It's forever. You're stuck. I can help you. Just message me. We'll figure it out. Okay? So, again, I always think about what is the most impactful stories we can be talking about. This morning, immigrants in New York are getting emails that it's time for you to leave. I just want everyone to know we want you here. This is a nation of immigrants. Okay? You can't be a nation of immigrants and then because you elect one dude, now you're not a nation of immigrants anymore. I just want to point this out. Just because Stephen Miller Okay, gets on fucking TV all the time and says "Rah, rah, 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 rah," like that doesn't. This is a nation of immigrants. This is built by immigrants. If you're black or Latino, like your family like built this fucking country, what are we talking about? Somebody see, this is how TikTok is fucking crazy. Okay, I just want to point out how TikTok is fucking bananas. Okay, think about this. I was just talking pretty passionately for a few minutes about like if you feel like you're stuck in this cycle and like you can't get out and you're financing your fucking groceries and your bills and shit, like I can help you get out of that cycle. And nobody said anything for the record, and I don't care about that. That's about as close as I get to an ad. I didn't say a company's name. I was talking about real situations that I deal with every day and being very broad about it. Um, One of the replies on TikTok was, I got out of debt by faking my death and changing my name. That's such an extreme way to get out of debt. Holy shit. I usually just send people to declare bankruptcy, dog. Like you don't even got to do all that. Um, but I mean, if you if you think maybe a bankruptcy that could impact your ability to move on in the next like 7 to 10 years, it could be difficult for you to like buy a house or a car if you declare bankruptcy, or get a place to rent or sign your name on literal motherfucking anything for a while. And so if you think maybe you want to avoid bankruptcy, and again, let me check the comments from fucking TikTok. What did that crazy shit say? I got out of debt by, yeah, that's right, faking my own death and changing my name. I just want to point out, I just want to point out that's a lot more work. My conversation, I laugh sometimes. I tell my clients we should slow down. We're going too fast. Like, I know you're excited, but we should chill the fuck out. You're giving me vibes. You know what I'm saying? Like, hold on, this sounds like a cancel. Like, you gotta slow down. You gotta understand what I'm saying. You gotta listen to what I'm saying. I got a lot of shit I gotta fucking read. Is a I was about to say heavily medicated industry. What? This is a heavily regulated industry. Um, yeah. But understand, frequently I have to slow down and say like I want to get you off of my phone at 50 minutes. And if we don't take 50 minutes, I get kind of iffy on it and I'm like, I don't know, man, they're going too fast. You know? Like I'm gun shy. Okay? So I'm talking about less than an hour of your life and it's really just me reading a bunch of shit to you, dog. It's not that hard. That's a lot less work than you ch- faking your death and changing your fucking name. And especially, they just passed the Save Act. Why the fuck would you want to change your name? You'll never be able to vote. Like, how the fuck are you gonna? Hey, instead of just having this 1 hour phone conversation or less with this guy and getting my head out of my ass. Holy shit. I fucked myself forever. Not only did I fake my own death and estrange everyone I know, but I changed my fucking name too. So now I can't do shit. I gotta get a cosigner to get toilet paper. Call 1-877. That's so goddamn hilarious. Yeah, you made me giggle. TikTok, you absolute batshit motherfuckers, bro. I mean, it hasn't like officially. Shit, Dina, you ruined a bit. That was actually really funny. It passed like 1/3 of the shit it has to pass. The fact that it's a news show and someone in the comments is like, wait, did they actually pass the Save Act? Anyway, fellow torch carrier. I'm hoping that's a fucking good thing. Dear God, I need something funny to come off of TikTok. Holy shit. Damn. That actually made it worth it. I direct Gusto. That actually made it fucking worth it. Thank you so much for giving me the laugh I needed today. Oh. Yeah, I don't want you to lose your right to vote either. Dark Matters, like I said, it's been so long since somebody said anything remotely fucking positive, or like that shit out of Gusto was like, fucking hilarious. It TikTok has been a fucking cesspool. So when somebody says something that's even remotely intelligible, and I'm like, fuck. Sorry, my radar's broken. I can't even tell if I can't even tell if he's not being a prick. Thank you. It's good to run into another warlord. Holy shit. I just want to point this out, and it makes it fucking hilarious to me because I've met so many non Marines, for the record. I have not met a Marine that joined the Marine Corps and I took this specific job to avoid combat, because in the Marine Corps we have the knowledge that like every Marine is a rifleman. Doesn't matter what your fucking job is, at some point they're gonna throw you a fucking rock and say, hit him! That's it. One time. Okay? So I noticed that you don't happen in the Marine Corps. But in every other branch, damn, I even could hear a pin drop in my own house. Okay, in other branches of the military, since I've come home from the Marine Corps, I've met tons of fucking people um, that joined the military and took a specific job within the military to avoid combat, to avoid like violence specifically. And for the record, it's a completely different, yeah, it's a completely different experience. So understand what I just told you. I have met tons of veterans that joined the military, whatever part of the military they joined, and took a specific job to avoid the front line. Okay? And I just want to point out one of the things that is also bizarre, where you're like, well, that's a crazy, that's like putting yourself like really close to a violent situation, but not in a violent situation. Like, that's a wild walk. You know what I mean? Like, who lives like that? I what? For example, I interviewed to be a head football coach, and the athletic director was former Army, and he was missing a leg at the knee. Like, yeah, he lost the whole leg. And I was like, oh, thank you for your service, because I'm dressed professionally. He's got a t-shirt and shorts on, and you can see he's missing his fucking leg. And I was like, how did that happen? And he was like, oh, I got sent into the shit. And I was like, oh fuck, man, I'm sorry to hear that. Like, what'd you do in the military? And he's like, well, actually, I joined the U.S. Army with the intent of being an MP and never seeing the front line. In fact, I wasn't supposed to be deployable. And imagine the hell that human being has been through, knowing that they got sent it to it anyway. So understand that there are tons of veterans that join the service with the intent of doing one thing, and then got introduced to the thing they were trying to fucking avoid. So if you wonder why, I frequently wonder why. Why would you do that? And then every now and then I meet another Marine. And you kind of fucking know. My original orders were to 1-9 The Walking Dead. And I enlisted post college. I went to Purdue. I enlisted in the Marine Corps Infantry. My original orders were to 1-9 The Walking Dead. When I checked into 19 on the day I checked into 19, they got shut down for being combat inefficient. They had 137 CAS on their prior deployment, which, for the record, I think there were about 1,300 people in my battalion. So if you're in my yeah in 2-2 there were about 1,300 in all four companies and headquarters. So if you think 137 CAS, so like a way to say it publicly is like more than 10% of our employees got injured on our last job, so they shut down that unit. And so I didn't actually participate in any activity in 19. They got shut the fuck down because people were getting picked the fuck off, and they were like, "We got to get you new orders." And so, for the record, this is how PTSD has worked for me. One of the memories that I literally do not have, that I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened, probably because of stress. But I don't know what happened from the moment I found out that my initial orders were to 19 and that the unit I was checking into was getting shut down for being combat inefficient. But I wound up across the street in 2-2, the Warlords, the most combat deployed unit in Marine Corps history. In fact, when I checked it, when I checked into 2-2, they were on their fifth straight deployment to Iraq. So that's the fucking difference. Now I live to tell the tale, right? And that's what I value out of that situation. But like understand that like there are people who joined the military and took a job specifically. My dad, for the record, my dad took an air traffic control contract with the Navy that was non-deployable. He kept getting skipped over for Westpacks. It wasn't that he didn't want to go; is that he was being offered a job by the FAA, and he was weighing crossing a picket line. So, for the record, my old man is a scab. Okay, so I've known my whole life. There's a reason that my dad doesn't have any friends. There's a reason that when my old man kicks a bucket, there won't be no 21 gun salute. Because he was non-deployable in the fucking Navy, and he was he broke a union line to take a job with the FAA because they were on strike. My dad did that shit. I'm not letting that be the legacy of my family name. That's his legacy. Did it make my life easier? Yes. I'm sure my life was infinitely easier because my dad was not on active duty in the Navy when I was alive. As far as I know, people are asking in the comments, as far as I know about Garcia, there's a elected official, Van Hollen, is going down to visit today. What do you think of the guy in El Salvador? Well, Garcia was here legally. So was Gutierrez. Remember, you cannot skip due process. And make sure while we're here, we're here for a good time, but not a long time. So you got to go up to my profile up there. Make sure that you follow me. Click on the links. Make sure you follow my YouTube. Understand that we are always co-streaming live. Uh, hold on, hold on. So, do you know who in the government is actually complicit in this? Donald J. Trump. You got to think about it. The people arresting him, not elected officials. The pilot flying the plane, not an elected official. It's the people that are willing to do that work. That's that's it's Donald Trump. It's them carrying out the mission. His mission has resonated with people. Yeah. Yep. Oh, somebody smarter than me that has better pattern recognition than I do, that is more plugged in than I am. Ladies, can you confirm this? Caroline Levitt went to the podium last night and didn't have her cross on. Yes, follow the money. Private contractors like Eric Prince are fixing to get thousands of dollars per head for private transportation. So remember, the whole reason this is going off without a hitch is because it's all private contracting. Yeah, okay, yeah. She didn't have a cross on. She was wearing a dress that's made in China. To host any lives with panels. I have an aversion to hosting, mostly because I have a large platform. I have like 16,000 followers. I'm co-streaming on another platform, and unless I know you and know your politics, I'm not going to give up the mic, right? Like that would be fucking insane. What if you get on here and you're a bigot, right? Well, I'm not about that shit, right? Like so I can't, it's very difficult for me. I have to really fucking know and trust somebody, and trust that they see what I have and they go, "Damn, he's got like 16,000 fucking followers. Damn, he's got a daily live podcast." We've been going 6 months fucking straight without a hitch. We get tussled up here with TikTok every now and then. They don't like the subject matter. Uh, every now and then, obviously, I'm fixing myself where I'm not responding to the fucking comments like I was and getting my shit suspended and banned. So we're trying to work on that. But one of the things that I've told people that have asked is keep showing up. Keep showing up. Morning, Semper Fi, all that shit. And then as we converse, I'll learn enough about you where you make yourself available and I say, hey, I'm going to pull someone that was in the same fucking unit as me in the Marine Corps up here to talk. And this is and I know them and trust them and they have an understanding that like I'm not going to give my platform to a Trumper just because we was in the same unit. Like that shit don't mean that much, right? It means something. It means a lot. It means more than anyone can ever understand. But it still means enough. So I just want to make sure we point that shit out because like Carolyn Levitt has kept her shit together recently, or not recently, until it appears yesterday. And from what I'm taking from the video I watched, she crashed the fuck out a little bit when she got asked about this, and she's not wearing her cross anymore, and her dress was clearly made of fucking China, and you can kind of tell how even that fucking little dollhouse of horrors is starting to peel back on this and be like, wait a second, dog, like this is attached to me now. I'm getting it on me. I'm getting the fascism. I'm getting it on me now. And now when the cross touches my skin, it fucking burns. And now I got to take that shit off. We can't even wear that up to a fucking microphone. And I can tell you if there's any single line of communication going to Carolyn Levitt from the women in this country, I can promise you it's take that fucking cross off, bitch, before I break it off of you. Like, I can promise you that's coming. Like, people are saying, take that fucking cross off, bitch. Like, that happened. That's why she took the cross off. It's not because it was burning when it touched her skin. You know that's not real, right? Holy shit. There are people over here that are like, she's a vampire? I didn't even know. And I'm like, this isn't that show. So remember, anytime we recognize that we have an audience, hey, listen, I advocate for a healthy lifestyle. You have to control what you can control. This means sleep 8 hours a fucking day. And hey, by the way, you probably need to take a fucking nap, you whiny bitch. And then you've got to drink water. You also need to eat right. And if you're going to do all that shit, you might as well exercise. Somebody said, thanks for giving us Peyton Manning. I am not his daddy, but you're welcome. But yeah. Crash out, crash out. Don't crash out, crash out. Somebody, listen to me. Do you want to make $1 million? I'm about to make you $1 million. I need a meme with Carolyn Levitt with her hands like this, and that was yesterday in her press conference. Okay, she was like this yesterday. No cross on, like this, and the music don't crash out, don't crash. And she's just like, anyway, you seen her Barbie doll, lipless Nazi version? Oh my god. Oh, Matt's a Broncos fan. Holy shit, that was great, by the way. How good is that for Peyton Manning? To earn the respect of an organization, not to run him into the ground? And so they, pay, or not, god damn it. Jim Irsay said, I don't want to be in charge of you when you break your neck, and then let him go. And I think the whole reason that Denver ended up with Peyton is because of 2 botched neck surgeries, if I'm correct. So it didn't actually have anything to do with the fucking Colts. It was just like Jim Irsay is like, I'm not putting you out there, 18. Like, go do that shit somewhere. And for the record, he did great. He absolutely did not win a Super Bowl because of Peyton Manning. He won that Super Bowl because of all the other people. The Denver Broncos, the year they won the Super Bowl with Peyton Manning, that team was fucking loaded. It's time to say the truth. Peyton's an awesome person. Yes. Von fucking Miller. Who is still a fucking menace a whole fucking decade later. I think it's time we talk about the Von Miller epidemic. What's getting wild up in here? I cried this morning thinking of Gutierrez and fucking Garcia. I was in the Marine Corps infantry during a time of war. I had friends, Gutierrez and Garcia, from New York City. Best fucking friends. Mm-hmm. Now, that's not them, but it could very well be their fucking kids. And I think about the lengths I went to for my brothers when I was on active duty, including driving across the country overnight on multiple occasions to be there and have been there. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of fucking heartbreaking. Especially when you have to stomach that they're not being sent to a prison. The fuck? Which of these objects has 4 legs? A chair? Why am I being given quests to do TikTok? What the fuck is wrong with y'all? I gotta like jump through hoops to stay live? Ew. But what I realized is that while I was sad this morning that they're literally deporting American citizens and they're not even sending them to a fucking proper prison. They're sending them to a former prison, an ex-prison, a death camp. There's no fucking check-in. There ain't fucking guards. That's not a prison. Let's stop calling it a fucking prison. And without due process. I mean, holy shit, right? But I keep seeing people say, oh, he was sent to the prison CCOT in El Salvador. And I'm like, that's not a fucking prison. That's a former prison. That shit got closed, and not yesterday, like 5 years ago, for the way they were being inhumane. I think it had to do with them being inhumane, which of course is the point. The cruelty is the point. And so once you establish that it can't be it's not it's not it's not right, it's not correct, it's not even legal. Good morning. Okay? It's unnecessarily cruel. And that's the whole point. The goal is to make people respond in kind. They are tracking violence. That's what they want. They want you to plan violent uprising. That's what they want. So they can declare martial law. And they're doing there's a reason that it's one or two people, and it's a clerical error, and the courts are involved, and we told him fucking no. And then the whole reason that we're not out striking in the fucking street right now is because his name's Gutierrez. His name's fucking Garcia. And as soon as someone says they were allegedly a fucking gang member, all credibility's gone. And now I'm still thinking about the pool of blood you can see from fucking space. And I realize I can't do anything about it. I can't. Yeah, Senator from Maryland's going down there today. Okay, I can't change that I can see a fucking pool of blood at CCOT from fucking space. Google the fucking prison in El Salvador. You can see the facility. You can zoom all the way fucking in, and you can see a pool of blood from space. That's correct. And so I realized, like, that's my blood in that pool. Every day I go on here, I've been a detractor. I've been a never Trumper. I've been in Elon Musk's fucking wheelhouse. Elon Musk did shit to my Twitter account they said they don't do to people. You think he don't know? At least who that moniker is? Likely alien on Twitter. Mm-hmm. And so I'm thinking about like how I'm there with them already. And how do I defeat them? How do I get back? How do I get back to where I am mentally? And the only way to do that is humor. The only way to do it is nonviolent protest, boycott, and strike. Pull in, rein in your fucking money. Pull it all in. Get it out of the banks and the credit cards and get it in to multiple credit unions. Spread it the fuck around. Be more responsible with your money and spend less. Be more picky about who you do business with. Who you spend money with has a direct impact. And kill them with fucking comedy. Make the fuck fun of these people. We sat here and we made fun of J.D. Vance. We sat here, we made fun of Caroline Levitt. We gave you visuals of Donald Trump and Elon Musk, the little cuck baby. Because none of this is happening with violence. You are doing no good by calling for violence, especially every time I run across one of you sad motherfuckers using your platform to fucking call for violence. I notice you ain't got up and done shit yet, bitch. I know you notice you trying to get other people to act for you. So stop calling for fucking violence. You ain't gonna do shit anyway. Get in fucking line with the rest of us. We're either all going to the gulag together, or we're gonna boycott, protest, and strike until he's removed from office. And if you haven't seen the pool of blood from space, open up Google Maps. It's called CCOT. It's in El Salvador. It's a big facility. Shouldn't be too hard to find. It didn't take me but 5 seconds. And I don't know about anybody else, but once you see a pool of blood from space, you've probably seen it all now. We're at the end. We're at the end now. We're at the end of the game. I remember when what's his name from Red Bull jumped from space without a parachute and landed on the ground. And I remember thinking, I've seen it all. Like, what a great fucking commercial. The guy jumped out of a. The guy jumped from space. And I thought, yeah, there's nothing else will ever shock me to my core. But yeah, if there's a consistent theme of the show today, it's stop calling it a fucking prison. Because that shit was closed 5 years ago. And first it was Gutierrez and Garcia. And as I told you, I served with guys whose last name were Gutierrez and Garcia over 20 years ago. So to me, these are their kids. So that pool of blood from space has my blood in it. Because if they can just take American citizens off the street and they don't even have the right person. Merwell Gutierrez, not the correct individual. I watched a lot of content get made in the last fucking weeks talking about how Anne Franks can't be a real person. I settled with that when I was a fucking teenager. What the fuck were you doing? There's like a whole bunch of people commenting on a whole bunch of people's work that's like, "Oh, that was a work of art. That's not a real person." And you're just like, "What? We're broken. Your empathy machine is broken." 19 years old. I mean, think about it. At the bare minimum, it's like overrun with nature. So it's not like a cleaned up, your and I's vision of prison is like it's medically clean and everybody's being very good and well behaved and they're each in their own abodes and everybody has their own bed and everybody's using hospital corners and everything's going swell. And I just want to fucking point out that's not happening in El Salvador. That's that giant ass pool of blood is not because people get a little shaky when you're trying to give them their shots so that they can acclimatize themselves to the environment, right? It's not like there's like a branding ceremony gone horribly awry or some shit. TikTok, I love you. One of the comments on TikTok's like, that doesn't sound like the facilities I've been in. It's like, which ones? The clean ones or the ones that have been left to nature for years and are completely overrun by vines, and it's more like Jurassic Park and less like your county correctional facility. Okay? So again, what can you do? What can I encourage you to do? Boycott, protest, and strike. Remember, we've been talking about it for a while, and I still catch people sending me like fucking Facebook links, and I'm like, I'm not even on Facebook. Why are you sending me a Facebook link? So if you want to defeat this regime, you must eliminate Facebook, Threads, IG, Messenger, WhatsApp, Twitter, Amazon. Get that shit the fuck off your phone. Stop doom scrolling and do something. Get your finances in order now. Look at the fucking stock market. What do you think's gonna fucking? Do you think they're taking the money from the rich? Is that how you think they solve all this? The rich pay their fair share. Is that how you think this ends up? If you don't do any, if we don't do anything, Elon Musk. That's funny. Eric Prince, the nepo baby. That's funny. Yeah, I've been saying. I watched First 48 too. I love when people are asserting that Kilmar Garcia is not alive, and it's like, cool story, bro. I also watched First 48. You got any other original thoughts up there? Can't get this America can't happen here. Yeah. There's a reason I haven't sat here and spent my time shitting on Trumpers. I don't really have to do that. You're a victim. I see. When I find out someone is a Trumper, I feel fucking sorry for you. Oh, it's disinformation and conspiracies all the way down, huh? And it doesn't take long. After you find out that someone's a Trumper, then they're about to tell you what other dumb shit they got rattling around in that fucking brain hole of theirs. The most dangerous are the ones that are excited about this. The ones that are going to walk to a podium today or tomorrow or the next day with a chest full of air and say, if like Stephen Miller, right? Walks to a podium and says, if you detract, we'll deport you. We don't give a fuck. And remember that ICE is privately funded by Palantir, Peter Thiel. Marjorie Taylor Greene is an investor. Money. And the same way they win in foreign countries, what they do is they go to the most prone to violence and the most ignorant first. There's a reason when you read Niemöller's quote, right? Remember who Niemöller was? He was a pro-Nazi pastor that flipped on the Nazis late. And he's famous for this quote or this poem. And the first line is like, first they came for the communists. Well, your boy, in the process of in the process of having a show where we talk about politics and shit, I started to do research about why the Nazis went after the communists first. And like if that's historically accurate. And they went after the police, and they went after the veterans, and they went after people that were prone to violence first, and they recruited them. Because frequently, those people weren't able to get steady paychecks because they're prone to fucking violence. Violence costs people, takes you out of the fight. So you take the most violent and you get them on your side. And now you look at this regime and you say, Niemöller's fucking right. First, they went after the fucking communists, all the commies, all the people that stormed the Capitol on January 6th. For the record, I just want to keep pointing this out. Do you know why the military didn't intervene? Do you know why? Because Donald Trump was in power when January 6th happened, so it was still his administration. So I just want to point this out how motherfucking dumb, just irreparably fucking stupid this entire shit is. Donald Trump organized an insurrection on his own administration. Those are just those are just facts. Smearing shit on the Capitol walls and shit. You did it to yourself. Marjorie Taylor Greene did that. Come on, Wiley. She said I coordinated and fundraised and organized January 6th. And you're going to sit in my comment section and blame Nancy Pelosi. That is misinformation. That is an untruth. It's a fucking lie. Okay? And also they can't arrest us all. So that's part of the reason that you have to like protest en masse. It can't just be veterans anymore. It can't just be the LGBTQIA plus anymore. If those are your people, if that's your friends, if that's your family, you gotta start showing the fuck up. I'm just here to support you. I just make sure that you know that you're loved and cared for, no matter what happens. That needs to be your attitude. You need to look for reasons to leave your house and to do community events. So there's a reason that shit went down like it did on January 6th. Like, how could you anticipate an administration to organize a coup against itself? How do you legislate political harikari? How do you do that? And I'd argue again, what is happening over and over and over again is the Donald Trump and the Republican Party commit political harikari pretty much at will. Oh, I totally ruin the credibility of an entire political party. Invents for you said Vietnam veteran here. Much respect for you, your service, and being on the right side of history. Much respect for you. Thanks for just being here and saying something fucking nice on TikTok. It's wholly unexpected. Diego said we need to save our nation from Russia and Trump. Have to get Russia out of our politics first. Every elected Republican took money from Russia. We also got to get Israel out of our politics too, and 100 elected Democrats took money from Israel. Oh, by the way, there is a coalition called the Blue Dog Coalition, which is a group of Democrats that are conservative, and they vote conservatively. And one of those Democrats, Marie Glassenkamp Perez, out of Washington State, that voted to take 70 million women's right to vote away, is a Blue Dog Coalition member. Yeah, I saw about the NLRB. Hey, this ain't an airport. You're gonna have to announce your departure. Hey, I'm just telling you. I feel like I'm in the fucking upside down. Okay? Here is Xi Jinping fucking. It's an AP story. Xi Jinping making a case for free trade, baby. Presenting China as a source of stability and certainty. And I think, like, WikiLeaks. Can't forget about WikiLeaks. Yeah, don't stop talking about how the head of national security, the Secretary of Defense, Michael Waltz, that's Tulsi Gabbard, Pete Hegseth, Michael Waltz, J.D. Vance, planned and coordinated military activity via signal. Jesus Christ. Yo, you got to start using a VPN. Look at this. 2 news stories in a row. Entire countries telling their citizens to take a burner to the United States. Here's the EU giving its people burner device. Holy shit. Burner devices. Okay. In Canada. One of the things I saw recently that I can't get out of my head until I say it, so sorry. Yep. That's part of the reason that the show exists, part of the reason we're posting like news from AP and Reuters just to keep our head out of the clouds, out of conspiracy and all that shit, and focus on what's actually in front of us and actually happening. So one of the things that I've seen that I can't unsee and I can't not talk about is things that make me scared. And I saw a video, and I don't know what exactly its purpose was. So let's say this. I don't know exactly what its purpose was, but I saw a robot dog in Gaza. And I heard the video over saying that has a flamethrower on it, that has a shotgun based self defense system, it has an onboard shield. It has all these, and like I'm thinking, like, does it carry a medical kit? Can it do fucking CPR? Does it double as a fucking? Can it resuscitate something? Like what the? No, it's all just like violence and self sufficiency in terms of just like being able to protect itself. It had a shield and a fucking shotgun. And I was like, oh, that's got to be fake. And the end of the video is like, and this is coming stateside. Like, they're going to implement this into law enforcement in the United States. And I was just like, oh, fuck. They're testing methods of cruelty in places where you and I don't care. You know, there wasn't Israel fighting fucking Palestine. We wouldn't give a fuck. If Israel wasn't committing a fucking genocide or ethnic cleansing, if they actually had a border that they was theirs and they protected that land and they weren't out fucking doing what they're doing, you didn't give a fuck about Gaza. Come on, just say it out loud. Like, there's some level of poor people that you don't give a fuck about. You've had to not give a fuck about. And know that mostly what's been going on for the last, man, better part of like 80 years has been an ethnic cleansing and a genocide. Nothing short of that. Because I know a lot of you are in fucking denial. Oh, speaking of denial, there's a really good song called Denial. I don't share it often enough because it doesn't apply to my audience. But the band is called Sevendust. I believe the lead singer is a black person. That is not relevant here, but it is for me, for like a white boy music fan. But I'm pretty sure the lead singer is black. ICE is scanning phones at TSA looking for Trump bashing. No, they want to see. They don't think of it as like an ethnic cleansing or a genocide. They think they're clearing out this area so I can build my golf course and my resort here. And so Israel can put a military base right next to it. So we could put a US military base right next to it. That's the whole point. That is the brain rot it takes to be like, Israel is a geopolitical ally in the Middle East. We need them to have land so they can protect their land so we could put our stuff on it, right? And there's a lot of people out there that try to sell you on the US Israel relationship. And the hard reality of that is now is that those dollars, those American dollars and those American weapons have supported an ethnic cleansing and genocide and nothing fucking short of that. And that if you're still in support of this relationship, you have a mental issue. You probably need to talk to someone fucking stat because you got it fucked up. You got it fucked up in your head where people could literally be committing fucking genocide and you're like, yeah, that's cool. Part of it. That's just the way the cookie crumbles. Jared Kushner said it. Beachfront property. Fucking crazy. Donald Trump said it looks like the Riviera. I'm like, what? Like, of all the words, you could look at what's going on in fucking Gaza, and you look out over that, and you go, yeah, it looks like a golf course. It's just true. It's just true. The president of the United States wants to build a golf course, resort, and hotel in Gaza. I say it with my whole chest. I want to also go back over this from the other day. These are just facts. You need to look up Trump in Dubai. You need to know that Donald Trump has already getting away with what I would call like modern slavery. And so, what Donald Trump is doing in Dubai is particularly heinous. So, check this shit out. Obviously, nobody wants to like go to Dubai and fucking work for Donald Trump. So, what they do is they get people to Dubai under the guise of making a whole bunch of money. And then they show up and they take their fucking identification. So they basically can't leave. And then they put them in what amounts to indoor gymnasium. They're like in a large open air single facility, no like two showers, two toilets, two faucets, and there's hundreds of fucking people. Okay? They're basically forced to work. What they get paid per day is less than what they are being charged in rent by Donald Trump. So they are forced to work at a loss for Donald Trump at his resort in Dubai. And as I've said, if you don't think they will do that to you and I, don't fucking kid yourself. Because they're already doing it. As long as it's in like a foreign country and they have like more lax labor laws, they can totally get away with that shit. That's why Donald Trump could disappear motherfuckers to El Salvador and get away with it. You saw the president of El Salvador? Oh, Kate said we started a GoFundMe for the people trapped in Dubai. Good. And I started to think about how that's the whole point. If you sit with for a moment about Garcia and Gutierrez, if you're willing to sit with that for a moment, what is keeping you from being empathetic towards all those people in Dubai that Donald Trump has basically forced into modern day slavery? Go to therapy. I was in therapy for years. I was beside myself for years. I could not fathom how the fuck do poor people vote for someone that's notorious for being a shitty landlord and not paying his fucking people? How the fuck do poor people vote for someone with that track record of being a bad landlord and not paying his people? Not taking care of his shit to me? I mean, think about this. Before Donald Trump was a madman, I went to Trump casinos. I played poker. I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana. I'm also from outside Chicago, and I went to Purdue, which is between Indianapolis and Chicago, and about an hour to an hour and a half away from a, a. And for the record, the next time I was in that area, I drove to Peoria, Illinois, to go to a casino instead of going to fucking a Trump casino. Okay, but I've spent many years of my life playing poker, and I've played poker all over the world. People have said once they've got to know me, they're like, "You're like James Bond, but a stoner." It's wild. Like I like to play poker, right? Oh, right on, Pep. So I was born in Dayton, Ohio. So why not? It's really important stuff. He's making America great again. Yeah. So I'll tell you, the first time I went into Donald Trump's casino, I turned my flashlight. It was nighttime, and I turned my flashlight on, and I don't know how to say this to anyone else. It was like they were sitting a boat in a puddle. Like I shine my flashlight under the boat, and I was like, so they're not allowed to build casinos on land in Indiana. So I know there's people's brains getting fucking stretched right now that are like, "Wait, huh? Yeah, it was a boat. Donald Trump has a boat in Northwest Indiana. Uh-huh. He has a casino. It's a boat. I went there the first time over 20 years ago, and I shine my flashlight. I was one of those assholes who used to carry around a flashlight in my pocket and shine my flashlight under the boat, and there was hardly any water under the boat. And it was just like, is this thing on fucking stilts? This isn't even like a waterway. Like, what the? This is just like a flooded area occasionally. Like, god damn it, he just got away with this shit. And then you go into the casino, and how do I say it other than to just say it? The rattiest, worst smelling, most cramped, fucking absolute motherfucking garbage casino experience. Understaffed. The drinks were weak. The beer was not fucking cold. You know what I'm saying? When you're drinking a beer out of like a clear solo cup at a casino, you've hit rock bottom. We're there. When you ask for a when you and I'm one of them people, I don't just say I want your well rum or your well vodka. I know what I want. I want a Jack and Coke, man. When they tell you, "Oh, it's like $5." You're like, "What?" For a Jack and Coke, you got two options in a casino. That shit's either free or it's like $10. When they say, "Oh, that's $5," ain't no motherfucking way you're nickel and diming fucking booze. Okay. So, that was young. I was young. This is 20 years ago. Okay. I remember going in and being like, "Man, it smells really bad in here. It smells wet and like it smells like a wet cigarette." And I'm a cigarette smoker. So imagine like being a cigarette smoker going into a fucking casino and being like, "Damn, it smells like cat piss." Okay? This was 20 years ago. Okay? Fast forward a few years. Fast forward a few years. And I'm on active duty in the Marine Corps, and my dad is living at Absecon, New Jersey. And he's like, "Hey, Jared, why don't you come up? I live outside of Atlantic City." And it was March Madness. And I'd never been to Atlantic City, right? I'm a Vegas kid, right? I'm a go play poker, go play blackjack, go see a show, go out to dinner, go to bed guy, right? I can actually play the game, right? So, yep. See, Bob from YouTube says they did that shit in Missouri. They got around a law that says it had to be a riverboat. Yeah, he didn't even put it in a river. He put it in Gary fucking Indiana. Remember Gary, Indiana? Right? Yeah, that's where Trump's casino is. Gary fucking Indiana. So out just absolute like one of the lowest income cities on earth has a Trump casino. That's right. A few years later, I'm on active duty, and my dad's in Atlantic City. Yeah, and so my dad's like, "Come up here, go to Atlantic City." It just so happened that Garcia, one of my buddies that I went to boot camp with, that I went to AIT with, that I just so happened to be in 2-2 with me, was like, "Hey, I need a ride to New York City. How close can you get me?" And it just so happened to be it was my fucking car. My fucking car. I'm driving, and we got 4 or 5 days off. And I drove Garcia from Camp Lejeune to fucking Brooklyn. And then I went and saw my dad in fucking Absecon, New Jersey. Okay? So while I was there, and I know everybody's on pins and needles like you did not give Donald Trump money twice. No. Nope. I had a really nice experience actually. My dad and I went to another casino. I think it was I want to say Harrah's, but whatever, man. I like to play tournament poker, cash games, limit games. I can play all of the poker variation games. So, like, I'll play Omaha High Low. I give a shit. This shit's fun to me. I like playing cards and shit. Well, my dad's like, "Do you need any money?" And, like, just, "No, I got it, old man." And I went and played in a daily event. He gave him Trump money going there. No. Uh, so I go to this other casino. I had a great experience. My dad had to work, and so I played in a daily event. And I final tabled. I won several $1,000s, and I'm getting ready to leave. And my dad walks in, and my dad's wearing a black suit with a black button up and a in a dark maroon tie. I've never seen my dad look like that in my whole life. And he walked right up to a fucking blackjack table. The dealer knew him by fucking name and he started taking cards. What the fuck are you doing? So I like walk up to my old man, like, what the fuck are you doing here? And he was like, oh, I, started playing blackjack, whatever. And I was like, why don't you play poker? And he's like, I don't have time. I just want to come in here and flash some dimes and fucking, see if I can win a hand or two and get the fuck out of here real quick. And you're just like, holy shit, dad. And he was even playing at the high roller table, which like we had to go around a fucking partition and like show his ID and sign in and shit. I'm like, how the fuck, old man? And for the record, he did really good. He went on like a 12-hand win streak in front of me. Right after I just cleared a daily, a 100 plus 10 daily. I just fucking tabled that shit here, and my old man's like, I'm about to clean house too. $1,200 a hand, and went on like a 12-hand heater, and you're like, what the fuck? Like he was doubling up and splitting, and I'm just like, he knows all of this. Like, what is happening in real life? Anyway, so that was like the one time I ever hung out with my old man ever, for the record, like in public. And he like won a bunch of money. And we went to ESPN Zone and ate fucking dinner. And I'll never forget this. And it's important that I tell you this story today. Okay, I have to go to work. Okay. My dad's like, you want to see some shit? And I was like, what? And he's like, we're gonna go to this end of the boardwalk. And we walked in the back. Well, yeah, it is the back of the Trump Casino from the boardwalk. And it literally just, I can't, there aren't adequate words in the English language. Slummy is what we went from to. Like we just walked out of having like a really nice time at another casino. We had dinner at ESPN Zone, watching the NCAA tournament together. This was like the one good experience I ever had with my old man. Think about that. And then we walk, he takes his blazer off, we're walking along the boardwalk, just father and son while I'm on active duty. So think about this memory, right? And we walk in the back of the Trump Casino. And the Taj Mahal is what it's called, for those that are about to discredit my story. It's called the fucking Taj Mahal. And it was absolute fucking trash. Like, I was so fucking disappointed. I've been to Vegas tons. I've played at smaller casinos all over the United States. And just know that's the only casino that I have that to say about. And it's a Trump casino. Gary, Indiana, the Taj Mahal, Atlantic City. Like, absolute fucking trash. And I'm really sorry for the people that work there, if it's even still in business. Anyway, I got to go to work. That story took forever to tell. Yeah, for a moment in my life, my dad was wildly competent at something other than his job and cheating on my mother. Yeah, it was fucking awesome. So, have a good rest of your week. Or, yeah, well, have a good rest of your week. I'll see you tomorrow. I got to go to work.